Are you ready to quit that job you hate and turn your side hustle into your full-time business? Well, before you do that, I want to share with you the lessons that I learned when I quit my job. I wish I had known these things before I quit my job because it would have saved me a whole lot of time, a whole lot of money, and a whole lot of pain. I want to share with you these things so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. The first mistake that I made was that I did not know my numbers. When I quit my job, in my engineering job, I was making more than six figures, $125,000 in my photography business, and I thought I was making so much money. I looked at those numbers and I was making more money than I was when I was working my engineering job. But what I didn't realize was that that was revenue, and that's not actually profit. The difference is revenue is actually what the business brings in. Profit is actually what you take home. And there's another distinction that I didn't really understand. Revenue is one thing with all the money the business brings in. The profit is just actually an accounting term where you take all your revenues minus your expenses, and that's profit. But what I didn't actually account for was cash flow, because your business could generate a revenue of, let's just say you sell a package for your wedding for $5,000. So your revenue looks like you just made a $5,000 sale, which is great. But what I didn't realize is that if I just took my expenses out for that month, it might have looked that I actually made, say, $2,500 in profit that month, because my revenue sale was for $5,000, my expenses were $2,500. So on paper, it looks like I made $2,500. But what I didn't realize was that in the business, usually they put a $2,500 deposit down and they didn't pay the rest of the balance until 1 month before the wedding. So I actually didn't have $5,000 cash in my bank account. I actually only had $2,500. So the profit looks like I'm making an extra $2,500 that month, but in actuality, I didn't have that money. And so that was a big wake-up call, because I was looking at my bank balance. I was thinking I was making all this money, I had so much extra cash flow, but I didn't. I had it in terms of the accounting terms of profit, but I didn't have that in cash. And so I was struggling to pay my bills. I was struggling to pay myself because I thought I was making all this money, but I didn't even have the money to pay myself. And that was a big wake-up call. And I wish I knew the difference and really looked at those numbers and really calculated how much true cash flow I was making in my business every month, and knowing that how much I can pay myself from those profits. The second big mistake I did was that I didn't actually account for how much I needed to pay myself. This is an extension of the first one, because if I didn't know how much profit I was actually bringing in, well, I really didn't even know how much I can truly pay myself from the business, because I didn't really know my numbers, and I didn't actually know how much I truly needed to pay myself to actually have a living wage and pay myself enough to live, because you don't want to quit your job and then live at half the salary you were before you left, because you'd end up actually in a worse off spot than when you actually had the job. And that's not the whole point of quitting your job. You want to be able to support yourself, live your dream, and actually have enough money so that you can actually live and actually continue on in the business. Because if you quit your job to do your business but you can't even pay your rent, then what's the point? Because you end up in a really bad situation. So in order to fix this, what you really need to do is figure out how much you need to live on every month so that you can pay your bills, you can actually live, and hopefully live at least the same level you were when you were working your day job. So figure out how much money you need to be able to pay yourself from your business, which is really the profit of the business, and how much cash flow you bring in every month, how much profit from that business you're going to actually pay yourself from. And that should be your goal. And I would recommend and highly recommend that you actually hit that number and actually are able to pay yourself at least that amount every month before you actually consider quitting your job, because that'll give you a nice cushion. You're not being impoverished by running this business and quitting your day job. If you guys have liked what you've heard so far, please hit the like button, and also subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you click on the bell notification so you hear every time that I'm putting out a new video each week. The third big mistake I made was that I didn't actually have a plan for growth. What does that mean? I didn't really have a plan on actually how to grow the business whatsoever. I was just planning on continuing on the status quo of the business, the trajectory that it currently was on, and it was actually okay. It wasn't great, but I didn't actually have plans on how to expand or grow even more. One of the first things I realized I didn't have was I actually didn't have a marketing plan. I didn't have a way to generate leads. My business at that time was all word of mouth and referrals. And unfortunately, that's not scalable. If you're just waiting for other people to bring you leads and bring you work, then you're not going to be able to actually plan your growth. What you truly need to do is actually build a marketing plan so that you can consistently and reliably bring leads into your business so that you can actually grow. And you can't plan your business if you actually don't know which levers and buttons and dials to turn in your business to get more leads to come into your business, whether that's organic marketing, whether that is paid ads or whatever it is. But you need to be able to understand where your leads are coming from and how to generate more when you need to. The second big area I missed was the sales side. I didn't actually have any kinds of plan of actually how to grow my sales in terms of how do I actually get each customer that comes in the door to spend more money in my business. I didn't come up with my bundling ideas. I didn't really come up with sales strategies to actually convert more clients into, actually convert more prospects into clients. That's what I meant. But I didn't really plan that. I didn't really come up with ideas on how to create higher end products so that they spend more money and have opportunities to spend more money with me. So those are the three big areas that I messed up, and I spent so much time figuring this out. And it was about a year and a half later, after a whole year and a half after I quit my job, struggling all that time and a whole lot of headache and a whole lot of stressing about money because I barely could pay myself. And I was way worse off than when I actually had a job and working this side business, thinking I was making all this money, but I really wasn't. So make sure that you guys really understand your numbers, understand the numbers for your business, but understand the numbers that you need for your life. And also come up with a plan so that you, when you go full-time in your business, you actually have an action plan to go forward to grow your business so that you don't end up like me, because that was extremely painful. I learned so much from that, but I hope you guys don't actually have to suffer like I did. And so I hope you guys got a lot of value out of today. I really enjoyed making today's video. So make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.